call to a turkey and he gobbles back at you, and you've got an answer, and that's what we all love, is that answering gobbler. The answers are calls. Many times we can tell if we'll just learn how to read a turkey's gobble, how to hunt that turkey, how to call to that turkey, and sometimes when to move and when not to move on that turkey, just by listening to the way he's gobbling. There's been a lot of times when I've hunted with guys, and maybe it's on a morning that we've got 2 or 3 or 4 gobblers that's gobbling around us, and I've had some of them get aggravated because I'll sit in one spot and just sort of listen to these turkeys right at the crack of daylight or at daylight, and I'm not running to the closest one that's gobbling, and they're wanting to run to the closest turkey right under the hill and say, well, we gotta go set up on him. But I'm like, let's just be patient a minute, let's just hold on, because what I'm doing is I'm listening to the other turkeys around to see which one that I want to go after, because the one that's closest may not be the one that's callable. He may be the one that's henned up. He may be the one that I don't feel like that could really be called to very much, or that would really respond to calling. Whereas the one that may be furthest away, or the one that's maybe the midway point, he may be the one that may be easier to call to because of the way he's gobbling. So a lot of times I'll sit and I'll just kind of read the way the turkeys are gobbling, just to see which one I want to go to, because I feel in my heart that's the one that maybe has less hens or no hens, and I want to go after him because he'd be the easiest one to call in. Just makes common sense. But a lot of us only got one turkey to hunt. A lot of us just only got one gobbler that's gobbling a particular morning, so we got to go after that one. If we'll just sit back and listen though, and not get in a big hurry and not try to rush in there on the roost, a lot of times we can learn how to hunt that turkey and how to call to him just by the way he's gobbling. Let me give you an example. A few years ago, right here close to home, I was hunting with some friends, and we got on this turkey one morning, and he flew down. He was coming right to me. Everything was working right. I thought, man, this is going to be a classic hunt. And all of a sudden, as he got closer, and he was right within 100 yards of us, I just went quiet, because that's kind of usually what I do, kind of go quiet, let him come looking for me. And buddy, I just kind of just didn't say anything, and the next time I heard that thing, he's way back up on top, close to the top of the hill. Well, I started cutting at him, and I started yelping at him. Here he come back, and he got back under the hill. I went quiet, sitting there watching for that white head, sitting here just letting him come looking for me like I usually do. Guess what? Next time he gobbled, he was way over here to my left. He got way over there. Well, I started cutting at him, and when I started cutting and yelping at him, here he come back. So after about 2 or 3 times of this, I knew this turkey was telling me he wanted hard, aggressive calling, which goes against some people's rules. They don't like to get aggressive. But I was getting aggressive with this turkey. I was calling to him. I was yelping to him. And here he come back. So I was letting the turkey tell me how he wanted me to call to him. I was letting him tell me what he wanted. And even though it was breaking a lot of rules, quote, people have about aggressive calling, I didn't care. I'm out there hunting. I'm letting him tell me what he wants. And I yelped this thing to almost to the point that I got out of breath on a mouth call, and I just kept yelping and cutting and yelping and cutting and cutting, and he gobbled back at me. And all of a sudden he come all the way in, and I yelped him all the way in, and wound up packing him out that day through hard, aggressive calling. The next week, I hunted another turkey, not too far from there, hunted another turkey, and absolutely opposite. I called a few times, shut up, he come in, and that's the way he wanted to play the game. He didn't want a lot of calling. He come in. So, 2 different type turkeys on 2 different days, 2 different type tactics. But I let the turkey tell me, just by the way they were gobbling, kind of how they wanted it and how they wanted me to call to them. And you can learn a lot just by reading a turkey's gobble and letting him kind of tell you, instead of just rushing off and having a bunch of rules in your head that you can't do this, you can't do that, you can't do this. Listen, you throw the rule book out and you play the game on that day that gobbler is telling you how to play. Just learn from them. Forget about what you've been taught by so-and-so. Forget about what this one said or that one said, or you got to do this, or you got to do this, or turkeys won't do this, or turkeys won't do that. Listen, a lot of that stuff is nonsense. You let the turkeys tell you. Let them be your teacher on that day. And many times that's what saved my hunt, is by not listening to a bunch of stuff that's already clouded my mind, that I can't do this, I can't do that, and just learn from the gobblers themselves. 2 years ago, I was invited to come on a hunt out of state, and when I got there, this guy had already told me, we're going to go sit in a pop-up blind, because that's kind of how these turkeys like it on this property. He's like, I got a pop-up blind, and I'm going to put decoys out, because that's the way they like it on this property. Well, I don't try to guide the guide, and I'm a guest somewhere, so I kind of put up with it, even though it's not my style of hunting. I didn't want to be rude, and I said, okay. So we get up there, and we start hunting. And at daylight, sure enough, there was a gobbler to the right and there was a gobbler way over here to the left that started gobbling. And they started kind of hammering and they started getting vocal on the roost, and he told me, yeah, they're going to come down this field and they're going to come in here and they'll see the decoys and all this stuff. Well, that didn't happen. They kind of went quiet. As soon as they flew down, they got quiet and they shut up. Well, you know, we didn't hear nothing, we didn't see nothing. And we're sitting there, and probably about 7:30 that morning, 7:45, somewhere around there, right behind the blind, about 250 yards. He was a long ways away, but there was a big hillside that went up, and right up next to the top, there was this turkey that started gobbling. And he started getting vocal, and he started gobbling quite often. And then he'd go quiet, then he'd start gobbling, then he'd go quiet a little bit, then he'd start gobbling. Well, I'm sitting here listening to this, and I'm getting antsy, and I'm sitting here, and I'm kind of, why ain't we going after this turkey? And I'm thinking, well, maybe we can't hunt that. So I asked him, I said, can we hunt that up there? He said, yeah, we can hunt it. But I said, well, let's go after that turkey. I said, hey, man, he's getting vocal. Let's go. Hey, I think we need to stay here, you know, because that was his comfort zone. That was the way he liked to hunt. And he just wasn't comfortable out going through the woods. And I said, hey, man, this gobbler's by himself. He said, you think so? I said, I about know so. I said, he's staying up high, because he's staying up high, up on that shelf, across that ridge. And I said, he's wanting to be heard. He's gobbling to let them hens hear him. And I said, and he's probably up there strutting because the hens are probably lower, you know, down under the hill or down in the valley, and they're looking up. He wants them to see. I said, we need to go after this turkey. And so the more this turkey started gobbling, the more antsy I got. And finally, I told him, I said, can we go hunt this turkey? Now, let's leave this set up. Let's go. He's like, well, all right. You know, I said, come on, I know what I'm doing. Let's go. So we got out of that blind, and I started crow calling this turkey, going to him. He gobbled back at me a couple times, and I pinpointed him. And I got around on the half moon of this ridge, and I got right on the pinch point, and I started cutting and yelping at this turkey, and started cutting to him, and started yelping to him, and started soft calling to him as he started coming in. And 35 minutes, I bet you, 35, 40 minutes, this old white head, this big strutter and white head come up through there, and I took him home with me. Now, if we'd have sat there in that field, well, you know, I don't know, we may eventually kill one, but because I sort of knew how this gobbler was gobbling, and sort of, you know, just by the way he was acting, he probably was by himself and easy to call in, I wanted to go after him, all right? And you can do the same thing. You can tell just by a lot of times, these turkeys will tell you what's going on in their world. It doesn't matter what other people tell you. It doesn't matter if this person over here tells you, oh, you can't do that, you can't do this, you can't do that, you can't do that. Listen, they ain't out there with me. They're not hunting for me. I'm out there, and I'm going to let the turkey tell me how they want me to call to them, whether it's aggressive, whether it's soft, whether it's no calling at all. I'm going to let that turkey on that day tell me how to hunt and what he wants. And when you do that, and you don't listen to all this crap about, well, you know, the turkeys won't do this, turkeys won't do that, they won't do this, they won't do this, they won't come down a hill, they won't cross a creek, they won't cross a river, they won't do this, and you've got all these mental blocks in your head, it's going to cripple you up, and you're going to not be able to hunt effectively because you're listening to all this stuff turkeys can't do. Turkeys, if they want to come to a hen, they'll do whatever they got to do to come to that hen. But I let the turkeys tell me how to hunt them. Whether it's go aggressive or not aggressive, or call soft, or move, or not to move, I just learned how to read what he's telling me. And if you'll do that, you will be a lot more successful because you're not hung up on a bunch of rules you set for yourself. Let the turkeys tell you what's going on in their world, and that's going to make you a lot better turkey hunter. Thank you for viewing this video, and make sure to take time to hit that subscribe button and hit that bell notification so you'll be notified when Dale Outdoors uploads their videos every single week. We'll be bringing you educational videos like this one, and also when turkey season gets here, we'll be bringing you turkey hunts, so you don't want to miss any of it. Also, check out all of our great sponsors that helps us in the links below. Check out Tidewe.com where you can get a lot of great products over there. Just use that promo code DALE where you can get even a better percentage off through the promo code. Check out Stoker Shotguns, check out Spring Fever Custom Calls where you can get my signature line of Matt Dale Old Sly series of turkey calls. You don't want to miss out on any of it. And check out Kona Scopes and all the other great sponsors we have in the links below. We really appreciate you watching this video. Until the next one, you be safe out there and get that big old gobbler this coming spring.